All right, all right. What is good, everybody? Welcome to the stream. And I know I've been a little absent for a couple of weeks, but I was working on a little bit of a project for the past couple of weeks. But I'm glad that you guys are back and able to tune in. We got a lot to talk about, man. So, if this is your first time here, my name is Jay. The YouTube channel is called Tripping with Jay. And we mainly focus on travel vlogs, travel reactions, and we do IRL streams when we are traveling. So just FYI, guys, we are going to Thailand, Vietnam, and South Korea in November. So the entire month of November, IRL streams, vlogs, all of that's coming to you guys. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel and hit the bell notifications when I go live. Because of the time zone difference, it's going to be crazy if you're on the other side of the world, right? So make sure you're subscribed and you hit the bell notification and you can participate in some lives, man. You never know what may happen when it's live, especially in Thailand. So today we're going to talk about a couple of main topics. And with the usual, we have the travel advisories. We're going to start off with that here. And the travel advisories, and then we're going to transition over to what happened at the Atlanta airport. And then we have another story after that that's not even covered by the mainstream media. And I wonder why. We're going to figure it out, man. We're going to figure it out. All right. So for the travel advisories, we got maybe two places to mention, two countries to mention here. We have Sudan is at a level 4. Do not travel for unrest, crime, kidnapping, or hostage taking, terrorism, other, and health. So don't go to Sudan right now. South Sudan may be a little bit safer, but just stay away from Sudan. And then we had an update on Ecuador, which is upgraded to a level 2 for exercise increased caution for unrest, crime, kidnapping, or hostage taking, and terrorism. I think that's all the new ones. Well, Sri Lanka is also upgraded to a level 2 for unrest and terrorism. That's crazy, man. And a lot of stuff that's going on in these different countries, they're not covered on the mainstream media, at least here in the US. So just to be aware, right? Keep your head on a swivel wherever country you're in, whatever city you're in. But in particular, these countries you may want to stay away from right now. Okay, so I've been hearing a lot of things about what's going on in Atlanta, or at least the airport. And I saw some guy got arrested for almost pew-pewing it up. And I was like, what? What? Bro, TSA got enough to deal with. So I pulled up a couple of stories here because I don't know much about the actual details of the story. All I really heard is what I saw on Facebook. You know, Facebook has these posts where you just doom scroll on by about these news stories, but you don't really get an opportunity to look a little bit deeper into the story. So let's take a little bit of a deeper dive into it to look at the facts and see what's going on here with the what happened in Atlanta. So yeah, let's see.
This morning, crisis averted at the world's busiest airport. The family of Billy Joe Cagle called police to report he was armed, live streaming on social media, and headed to the Atlanta airport. Surveillance video shows Cagle walking around a crowded terminal where he is confronted by officers. Police say he was not armed when they found him, but they did find an AR-15 with 27 rounds of ammunition inside his truck, which was parked just outside. CNN's Isabel Rosales has details.
This started at 9:29 in the morning, where Billy Cagle, he's on video arriving there at the South Terminal. 2 minutes later, he leaves his car outside and then goes inside of the airport. The police chief here in Atlanta saying that he was very interested in the TSA check-in area that was heavily crowded with travelers. Now, by 9:40 a.m., this is when Cartersville Police Department, an hour north of Atlanta, alerts APD that there's a potential threat because they were hearing from the family of the suspect that he was on social media streaming, that he was armed, that he was headed to the airport.
Oh, y'all see that? Hold on one second.
On social media streaming, that he was.
So 1 second, if you look at the officer's cell phone, I think I'm blocking it actually. If I move right here, this is how a lot of police officers actually find their suspect. They'll be on their personal phone and they'll actually have a picture of the guy and looking for this guy at the airport. Like, no longer are they like printing stuff out with like paper anymore. It's all on the phone. And this is an interesting perspective to look at it, because in the picture that's on his phone, on the officer's phone, he has black hair, but in person, you guys see that he has gray hair. So the fact that they were still able to kind of match him up to what he looks like currently was kind of cool too. So just some small details you guys can notice while she's talking.
Armed that he was headed to the airport to, quote, shoot it up. Cartersville police saying that he had, quote, intention to inflict harm to as many people as he could. Now, by 9:54, he was arrested there on the ground, not armed. This would have been 15 minutes since that first call came in to APD.
Wow, 15
Right, with
minutes.
us now, CNN senior national security analyst Julia Kayyem. Julia, good to see you this morning. What went right here?
The family went right. We are consistently
delay is crazy.
urging family members, community members, to notify police when they have suspicions, when they see, in this case, this sort of performative live streaming of potential violence. Too often, family members either think they can handle it themselves or sort of deny it in their own minds. And so the family basically stopped what looked like, from all details, was going to be an attempted mass shooting at the country's largest airport.
Yeah, it's impossible to know what would have happened had the family not called, but can you decipher anything about how deep he actually got into the airport, where he's walking around live streaming with his phone there, what maybe red flags that should have raised independent of the family calling?
Yes, well, I mean, the first is, of course, the way he parked his car outside.
Why they keep talking with the video on the side? Like, they should show the video.
Yes, well,
they
I mean,
put
the
it on the
first
ground,
is, of course,
bro.
the way he parked his car outside of what's presumably the departure area. It's angled. It's a truck in terms of, could it be carrying explosives? Airports really do generally have a way to identify those and then to move them, because I'm not even thinking about the gun in the car.
Man.
The second is he's looking at soft areas at an airport, and there's always going to be soft, more exposed areas of an airport as you go to the hardened part, which is, of course, the TSA line. That area is going to be the most congested because people are going from free flow to secure flow. And there's always going to be a buildup, and that's always been a worry. You saw police are constantly there. But it wouldn't have taken much for him to go in, check it out, see where he maybe wanted to do something, get the gun, which is probably a 1-minute walk away. And so, I think Atlanta Airport Police are going to have to assess, in particular, that sort of 10-minute lag when the car's there and he's in the airport.
Yeah, look, I don't know exactly where it was situated at the Atlanta airport, which I've been in quite frequently, but generally speaking, you can't park a car like that, anywhere near the drop-offs or pickups and then walk away. And at a lot of airports you're at, they'll stop you the minute you try something like that.
They'll tow you too.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And you see, I mean, was he casing, the airport? Was he doing this performative thing because he was in stress and wanted people to know? Like, at this stage, I don't want to guess it anymore. I mean, we have too many mass shootings, too many exposed areas. And so, the family did right, but this is going to be a prosecution with the intent of that he wanted a mass shooting.
Well, good for that family there. Julia Kayyem, nice to see you this morning. Thank you.
Bruh.
Now we were showing.
Bruh, let me tell you. So, looking, or at least hearing about the additional details of what happened, I think at the Atlanta police, man, they really prevented a mass shooting or mass pew-pewing. Let me run that back. A mass pew-pewing at the Atlanta airport, man. They literally saved lives at that doggone airport, man. And if it wasn't for the family of him doing that call to the police about the live stream, I think he was live streaming to Facebook. I'm like, who live streams to Facebook? Solely, right? But it's kind of crazy where the police handled it. They look like they handled it pretty well. Like they like shook hands with the police, or they shook hands with the guy and they put him on the ground. They put him on the ground. I got handed this chat real quick, bro. Who is this guy? Block this dude, man. I'll block him. But yeah, it's really interesting, man. And it's really awesome to kind of see things end nice here, because it's far too often that we you always hear news of the flip side happening, right? They have to respond to a pew-pewing and not be proactive in preventing it from even happening. How often does that happen, right? How often is it a proactive response instead of a reactive to like an active pew-pewer, right? Who was this guy on Rumble, man? This guy on Rumble was saying, I got to answer, do you still live with some Asian? What? Or have you two broken? Bro. All right, I got one more video, I think, of the pew-pewing. I want to know if they have any additional information.
Travelers at Atlanta's International Airport witnessed a tense scene yesterday as police prevented what could have been a mass shooting. Authorities say 49-year-old Billy Joe Cagle traveled about an hour, then parked his truck just outside the airport.
Wild.
Police found an assault rifle and ammunition inside that truck. Now, 2 officers confronted Cagle inside the terminal and arrested him. Investigators believe he was scouting the area before returning to his truck to get that weapon that was inside. Police say they were able to intervene after a call from Cagle's family saying he was threatening to shoot up the airport. Let's go live now to CBS News correspondent Skylar Henry at the Hartsfield-Jackson Airport. Skylar, thank you so much for joining us today. How did Cagle's family even learn about his intentions in the first place?
Yeah, Mugo, good to see you. Social media. It turns out that Cagle was alleged to have been on a live stream where they felt as if he was going to either harm someone or harms himself, and so they notified the Cartersville Police Department, which then notified the Atlanta Police Department, obviously sending out officers here to the airport as quickly as possible. Keep in mind, in terms of a timeline, this is something that happened in less than an hour. In terms of when APD got the call, they responded in less than 15 minutes, not only spotting Cagle, but confronting him.
Dude, you got to shout out the Atlanta Police Department, man. Atlanta Police Department is out here saving lives, bro. Literally, like, they're to serve and protect, bro. They did the damn job. I love that. This is such a good story because it's way too often we hear the opposite side, right? Like, it's like, oh my gosh, there was a pew-pewing at a school or at a church or at a movie theater, at a mall, in the airport. This here, they could have prevented a massacre, bro. And I'm so glad they were able to respond so quickly. 15 minutes is crazy. That's a crazy response time in 15 minutes for any police department. But, you know, you gotta understand that, like, an airport is a very, very sensitive area. So they need to protect it very well, right? And the people that work at the airport that are government employees aren't getting paid, right? So the airport is just all down bad right now, bro.
Ultimately arresting him. He is expected to be in court tomorrow, where he is facing a series of charges, including terroristic threats. As you pointed out, they say that he left his flatbed pickup truck right outside of the departure area here at the airport, came inside to this TSA checkpoint right behind me and quote unquote scouted the area. The police chief,
I'm always afraid of people who are at an airport without any bags. That tips me off. I'm like, why are you here? Where are you going? You have no backpack. You don't have a carry-on. It's just you. Like, it's not like you're going for the day and you're coming back. It looks like you are either scouting, because if you're picking somebody up, you're not going to be going through the airport like that without a bag with you. So that's another like a red flag when I see people without a bag. I'm like, bro, I gotta get up out of here, man. I gotta get up out of here. He's not traveling.
They said that he feels as if he was then planning on going back to that truck to then get his hands on that loaded semi-automatic rifle. We should point out that it had at least 27 rounds of ammunition inside. Police across the board saying that a crisis was averted, a tragedy was averted, and it really was due to people seeing something and saying something. That's something that you hear here at the airport all the time. But because of Cagle's family really stepping in, it allowed officers to respond quickly and allowed them to step in just in the nick of time.
Yeah, and glad his family spoke up as well. Skylar, from what you mentioned, this all happened very quickly. So have authorities told you how they're able to find Cagle so quickly and also arrest him?
Well, the first thing that they spotted was his truck. After they were notified that he may be up to something, they didn't exactly know where he was going, but because of cameras and other law enforcement measures, they were able to pinpoint his truck. That is when they were able to spot him on the cameras here at the airport, where we actually saw some of the surveillance video where it looked as if he was scouting this area. He walked back and forth in this area behind me. And we should...
Yo, that AR can do some serious damage. Y'all don't get it. You don't understand. Like the AR-15, bruh, that gun can do some serious damage if it's like, you know, aimed and pew-pewing at people, right? So they really saved a lot of people's lives today, man, or at least yesterday.
Point out it was relatively packed yesterday because of the government shutdown. The TSA warning just yesterday to expect long lines for travelers because of staffing shortages due to the shutdown. So there was a significant amount of people here anyway, in the busiest airport in the world. And so when you take that into consideration, it is already a lot of moving parts. And so that is when those two officers that you pointed out stepped in and decided to ask Cagle what he was doing here, and then ultimately saying, you are now under arrest. Now, some other things that we are looking to figure out as the days move on. For one, how he was able to get his hands on a firearm in the first place, because not only does he have a convicted felony or a felony on his record, but he also, according to his family and police, has a series of mental challenges, and that should exclude you from being able to have your hands.
Yo, I didn't know that. See, this is the benefit of watching multiple news stories about the same topic, is because you get not only different perspectives, but you also sometimes will get additional information that kind of clarifies a particular situations. Like right now, right? He's a prior felon, or he's a current felon, and he also has been diagnosed with mental issues, which both of those things should disqualify you from owning and obtaining a firearm officially. So what they'll have to do, like the law enforcement is going to have to figure out where the gun originated from, right? So they're going to have to look at the serial number, trace it back, who sold it, who was it sold to, and then they're going to have to go after the person that actually bought it and gave it to him. And this is in my opinion is the issue with reselling pew-pews to people, because if you are buying it for the wrong purpose and you don't get it registered properly under your name once you buy it, and you go commit a crime with it, it's going to fall back on the person that originally purchased it and gave it to you. They're going to get in trouble for it, which is crazy. So this is another example of gun control not working. It doesn't work. If people that want to obtain these firearms, they're going to get it one way or the other, right? They're going to either get it through illegal means, or they're going to buy it from somebody else or a place that doesn't even do any type of checks, because they have some of these trade shows sometimes that don't even do the basic checks before they sell a firearm to somebody, bro. It's crazy. It's crazy.
On a firearm in the first place in this state, those are questions that are still remain to be answered. In addition to that, a motive in general. There was no real indication based off of what we've heard from police as to why he was here at the airport to begin with. But again, a lot of law enforcement coming in, a lot of communication working together to make sure that everyone here is as safe as possible.
Oh yeah, for sure. Glad things ended the way they did. Skylar and Henry in Atlanta for us today. Thank you so much.
Bro. Craziness, man. Oh man, I don't even know how to feel about that, man. I feel good, obviously, since no one was harmed. I don't know, man. It's very rare that we see something positive like that in the news, where a crisis was averted. So I'm so happy that it was averted like that. So I wanted to, before we end here, I wanted to touch on a topic that I may do a deeper dive into. The topic that I wanted to talk about today, at least on surface level, and potentially dive deeper into it on Thursday. Maybe do a live stream on Thursday about it and dive a lot deeper. But this story is not being covered in the mainstream media whatsoever at all. Like, everybody's talking about the government shutdown, which is, of course, very serious and impacting daily lives of Americans, and I get it. But there is something crazier happening in Madagascar, right? Not the movie, right? Not the Disney, what is it, Pixar or whatever? Not the animated movie, but the actual country of Madagascar off the coast of East Africa or Southeast Africa. Their president was overthrown by Gen Z protesters, and the military is now in control, bro. I saw this story. I was like, what? What? The Gen Zers, bro? The TikTokers? they overtook the president, which is crazy. So I want to find out a little bit more about this because I'm very interested in going to Madagascar one day. And I'm curious, man. It's curiosity, bro. And plus it's Africa too, so kind of get the double education on that end. So we're not gonna watch the full thing, but I definitely want to find out more about it. Let's take a look.
Arrests on the streets of Madagascar.
Oh,
At least 22 killed in anti-government protests, according to the UN.
Oh, shit.
And 100 reported injured in clashes with security forces, all figures disputed by the country's government. Gen Z accused those in power of failing to manage basic resources, blaming it for the economy and widespread poverty.
So if you guys didn't know, like, Madagascar is a very, very poor country, right? It's along the lines of a lot of countries in Africa, but is it extremely poor? It is very, very poor. And the people are just fed up, so.
And now, after weeks of protests, thousands, many of them students, gathered, calling for the president to step down, this time joined by part of the military. President Radziwiłł was supposed to address the nation yesterday. Instead, he'd fled for his life. Reuters reporting he'd been flown out of the capital on a French military aircraft. It's not known where he is, but he put this on a Facebook live stream.
They got him running scared, bro. They got him running scared.
We have all seen
Now he's on a Zoom call with a fake background.
that the crises that have occurred in the country have led to ruin and recession. There have been real plans since the 25th of September for a coup and assassination attempt against me.
On the streets of Antananarivo, they celebrated his departure, but also said accountability was key.
The evacuation of Radziwiłł was an act of interference by France in Madagascar. Why? Well, because it wasn't a coup d'etat. It was just a call from the people, a call for freedom of expression. Une liberté d'expression?
After what he did, I think it's best for him to leave Madagascar. But we're not going to let him go just like that. He has to be held accountable.
Radziwiłł formed a political party back in 2007, presenting a campaign for youth-led politics after violent anti-government protests. After a coup, he was declared president in March 2009, at age 35, the youngest in the country's history. Ironically, it's now soldiers from an elite unit, Capsat, which helped him seize power in that coup, which are calling on troops to support protesters now. Last week, he dismissed his cabinet and appointed a new prime minister, and confirmed today he's dissolved the National Assembly. And Radio France Internationale reporting that in leaving the former French colony, he'd also struck a deal with President Emmanuel Macron.
There is a lot of admiration and affection for a youth that has spoken out, that is politicized, that wants to live better.
Hey, man, these dub voices are crazy, and they can speak English, too. I don't know why, man. It's crazy. The politicians can speak English, obviously.
And that is a very good thing. They simply cannot be co-opted by military factions or foreign interference.
The anger, mostly from Gen Z, mirrors recent demonstrations in countries including Morocco, Nepal and Kenya against ruling elites, often using the skull and straw hat symbol from the Japanese manga series One Piece.
That's definitely some Gen Z type of stuff, man, where they're using a One Piece flag. I don't know, man. Like, are y'all team Dragon Ball or y'all team One Piece? I'm Team Dragon Ball forever, but I haven't even seen One Piece, so I can't even really do a good comparison.
For a digitally native generation, social media and the internet has been a driving force. The number of followers on this account alone doubling in the last 3 weeks. Many flights to Madagascar have been suspended while the turmoil continues, and security forces are working to maintain order. But many here see this as almost a second independence, and they will not give that up quietly. Well, joining me now is Dr. Luke Freeman from University College London, and he's a leading expert on Madagascar. Thank you for joining us.
All right, I think that's enough, right? That kind of explained it enough for you guys, like very quick and succinct, right? What's up? I got a couple chats here. What's up, Henry? How you doing, man? Hopefully you're following the channel on Twitch, bro. So yeah, everybody, we're live on like 5 different platforms, man. So make sure you go support with the links in the comments. Sorry, the links in the oh my gosh, it's been so long since I streamed. In the box below, right? The description box. Oh my gosh, the description box below. You can support on the 5 different platforms that we're live streaming on at the same time, and I'm also going to continue that when we go to Southeast Asia. I'm going to be multi-streaming everywhere. So be sure that you go ahead and support, guys. I think that's it for today, guys. I think we covered a couple of stories that mattered to me personally, and I found them interesting, especially the Atlanta one. And then we looked at, oh, there's another one. Oh, this is only 4 minutes. I want to watch this too. This one here is, yeah, this is it. So this is 4 minutes. The other one was longer. This one's a little bit shorter. Let's see if there's a different perspective, a different way to look at this thing. Oh, they're not talking? Bruh. Okay. I guess that's it, guys. So, crisis averted at the Atlanta airport, and Madagascar is getting a new president. Shout out to the coup d'etat by the Gen Zers waving the One Piece flag, because if you elect somebody to be president or a leader, they're supposed to be bidding for the people, right? And if they stop their bidding for the people and they're starting to be against the people, get them up out of there. So I support that fully, bro. I support that fully. I appreciate you guys tuning in today. And we may come back on Thursday to kind of do a deeper dive, or we may do a different topic as well. And keep in mind, next weekend we'll be in Southeast Asia, Thailand in particular. So if you're going to Thailand, hit me up in the DMs on Instagram so we can link up. We can grab a beer or hang out or whatever. We can do a collab if you're also a content creator as well. I'll be out there for 3 weeks, and then I'll be spending about less than a week in Vietnam, and then maybe 24 hours in South Korea. So if you're in any of those countries, any of those cities, I'm going to be in Bangkok, Pattaya, Da Nang, Vietnam, and also Seoul, South Korea. If you're going to be in any of those cities, hit me in the DM so we can do a collab if you're a content creator, or we can just go out and grab a beer and hang out and chill and kick it, because your boy's going solo. So let me know. Thank you guys for tuning in. My name is Jay. The YouTube channel is called Tripping with Jay. And I'll see you guys later. Peace.
It's not a game, it's a